Good morning, children. Today we'll start with the second chapter of English literature, and the name of the chapter is Summer Sun. It's a poem written by Robert Louis Stevenson. There are 5 stanzas in this poem, and each I will explain one by one. Robert Louis Stevenson was born in Scotland in 1850. He was a lawyer who later became a writer. He has written this poem especially for children. Through this poem, he wants to tell children that what is the importance of sun in our lives, and he also wants to tell that there cannot be life without the sun, or we cannot imagine our lives without the sun. So now let's begin with the first stanza of the poem. Great is the sun, and wide he goes through empty heaven without repose, and in the blue and glowing days, more thick than rain, he showers his rays. In this stanza, the poet says that, as we all know, that the sun is too big and very cheerful. Why? Because the sun is spreading his rays everywhere to everyone. Though it is very far from the sky, but still the rays of the sun is too bright that it reaches to everyone. And continuously the sun showers his rays without taking any rest. Thus, in the last line of the stanza, the poet is comparing the sun with the rain. And he says that the heat of the sun is more powerful than the rain. So, children, with this explanation, I hope that you have understood the stanza. Now, let's see the second stanza of this poem. Though closer still the blinds we pull to keep the shady parlour cool, yet he will find a chink or two to slip his golden fingers through. In the second stanza, the poet says that in summer season the rays of the sun is so bright and powerful that in the sitting room we need a thick curtain to cover so that the rays of the sun may not get inside the room, and thus we put a thick curtain in the window to keep the room cool. But in summer, the rays of the sun is so bright that somehow the sun will find some place through the window and passes its rays. Now just see the third stanza. The dusty attic spider clad, he through the keyhole maketh glad, and through the broken edge of tiles into the laddered hayloft smiles. In this stanza, the poet says that the rays of the sun makes the spider happy. Why? Because the sun passes its rays through the keyhole and he makes it cheerful. And then the sun showers its rays through the broken edge of tiles to keep the hayloft smiles. Hayloft means that it's the upper floor of a farm building used for storing hay. Thus, in this stanza, the poet says that the sun is spreading his rays to everyone and making everyone happy. Now, just see the fourth stanza. Meantime, his golden face around he bears to all the garden ground, and sheds a warm and glittering look among the ivy's inmost nook. In the fourth stanza, the poet says that as the sun is spreading his rays to everyone, meantime he also showers his golden face bright and spread its rays on earth. Thus, the sun drops proper sunlight in the garden area and sheds with a warm and glittering look to plants. Last one is the fifth stanza, which I'm going to read. Above the hills, along the blue, round the bright air, with footing true, to please the child, to plant the rose, the gardener of the world he goes. So, children, in the last stanza, the poet is saying that the rays of the sun is not limited, but it is above the hills and along the sky. The poet imagines of the bright and floating trees which walks in steady and in balanced way. And to please the child, the poet says in a polite way to that child that to plant a rose in the garden and take care of it. As in the last line, the poet says that as the gardener takes care of his garden, same way the sun also takes care of us. So, children, this was the explanation of this poem, Summer Sun. I hope that you all have understood this poem after watching this video. Take care. Thank you.